too good. Yeah.
Smell from all the way, which makes it worse. That's right.
Probably eaten enough to lessen the need for dinner tonight.
Always a push desk. Commanding officer.
No, it was on the attendee list. Mark was probably.
Ready to clock.
So you're doing that
I like the idea though. I want to name this one.
Yeah.
Me too.
I hope we're just going to let's see if we can find somebody to chime in.
I know we're really yeah, no. I was sure it's about it or something. It seems so weird that as a character is like Chinese people that they feel like this is not change.
I find it odd too, to be honest, that maybe that'd be good. I used to just take over my desktop switching. Well, it's easy. It's saying, you know, they get a guy who's really clouding it and that's and make sure he's using my phone.
Show the right. show. That's how a regular UI should be. I suspect.
Are we going to kill the person?
I don't think he was in session.
Okay.
Yeah, not our CEO here.
Yeah, the person who scheduled the session because.
So random. Okay.
So the point being, we are here to discuss this opportunity to have Unity on the desktop, but it's actually the one that Mark was making, on Monday.
The session, so the background of the session is that the community member with no knowledge of the discussion submitted a spec and registered the blueprints.
I think there are a lot of people.
I'm curious.
My first introduction to Unity was Mutter with Unity running on a desktop. It was a collaboration.
So maybe this is a good time to talk through the simple changes.
Take some questions.
Should we function on session?
Alright, so do we have a Bobby document with Unity?
We can open a draft document.
I get really complicated.
So then Q&A and Q&A for first.
It just broke my computer too, but I tried to connect to the protocol.
Super. And I'll keep up the adapter for mine.
Can we get the session started, please?
Hey guys. So, ready to All right. So the background to the session was it was actually a proposal from a community member with no inside knowledge that this was something that was being discussed last week and no knowledge of the decision that was taken last week anyway. So that's a relief that other folks are thinking the same thing. And maybe we should just use this as a quick opportunity to talk through the changes in Unity that we envisage making to make it more appropriate for the desktop, and also other questions that you might have. So Unity, on the netbook, we took a very rigid form factor. The launcher is fixed in place, top to bottom. In the desktop edition, it will auto-hide, and we will do some smart detection of at install time, or at boot time essentially, startup time, of screen sizes and resolutions and form factors as to whether that behavior should be retained or whether it should go into the auto-hiding mode.
It'll be floating rather than being the entire vertical size of the desktop will be floating with the size that's correct for how many items there are. So it'll feel lighter on the desktop rather than very.
Is it going to be more document?
It'll be an overlay when it comes in, so its styling will be more transparent, and it will sit from the top as far down as it needs to accommodate itself, and then accordion fold as needed.
Will you be able to shift it from that side of the?
You won't be able to take it to the bottom. It'll only be on the left, except potentially for right to left languages where the world might.
There are interactions with the Ubuntu icon as well, so it's the right place to have it to get the correct user experience.
You'll invoke it by slamming into the corner. Hitting the corner will lock it in place. So there's a reason why we want it close to that, and your most important applications will be closest to that corner.
We'd be able to, Julie, we would be able to turn the auto mode off.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and you'll be able to do that with gestures as well as a preference. There is a preference. It's in appearance settings.
For
There will be.
There will be.
Yes.
Yes.
Is it auto-hide or IntelliHide?
It's
That's still up in the air.
It's IntelliHide if we can do the Intelli.
Yeah, I think we
if it's intelligent enough, then it'll be fine.
What we won't do is a dumb hide.
No dumb hide.
Okay.
No dumb
Or like a too clever for our own good hide.
No.
Okay.
That'll be the first version of IntelliHide, then we'll bring it back. But yeah, we'll try and be clever about that. So what we got.
Just went the wrong way with that one as well. So the wrong choice of words.
There was a document already registered according to
Okay, I'm not going to do it.
the names.
Is the person who registered it online or?
No, I asked, but apparently it's not.
Okay.
Is there anything in it?
So the Gavi document name is package section desktop blah blah blah. I'm
Okay.
just typing that on the IC channel so that you can also see it.
Yeah, I'll find it.
Are there other things that folks think we should do that we may not get into this cycle, but would make it a more natural feel for the desktop?
Would it be worth at least expanding places? Because that's the other thing which was.
Just hold fire.
Well, actually, we don't know. I guess.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
So, look and feel will be obviously very important for when you're in, you need to be able to tell I can't get overlay mode that when you're locked in, as opposed to when it's just kind of showing you the preview.
Right, it's a crystallization, and we'll do that, we'll have styling for that. So effectively, if you pull the launcher out, and it'll click into place as an overlay, which means it'll IntelliHide, and then if you keep pulling, it'll freeze essentially, which means it's locked. So it doesn't stay there.
Those visuals would probably make a big difference as to how people feel about it.
Right, we can test that.
Yeah.
I think that's milestone 1, milestone 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so the panel will follow the GTK theme as well. So they match. So if you're running radiance, it'll look like radiance, and they won't be locked to black. To ambient.
That's important that we follow accessibility.
Exactly. So font settings as well. If you've got a large font setting on the panel auto resize itself to match the text. So the text doesn't get bigger than the panel can actually show you or anything like that.
We need to pay attention. There's the accessibility high contrast data set. We should make sure that we are also displaying in a high contrast way.
So we'll be using GTK theme colors in the panel. How that maps to launcher and dash, not completely sure just yet.
Good question, and worth raising that.
Especially
Accessibility. Yeah.
exactly.
So we really
Luke,
need to feel
did you get that?
Sorry?
So when we have a plan for the panel to adopt high contrast.
Oh yeah, that's not really my field, but yeah.
But we also need to think about the dash.
Yeah.
Dash, okay, because the panel was tagged in the previous
Right.
session.
So even if
The
it's
dash as well.
So the dash from GTK theme to GTK theme should be okay because it has its own look and feel. But when we detect we're in high contrast or in low contrast,
we may
There's
want to
light
follow
down.
some sizing things, and we may want to think about. We're already pretty high contrast.
Well, we want
We
to jack
need
it
to
up
test
as
it.
much as that thing.
We need to
is.
test
it.
Right. For the sizing, we were saying that the font, which would come with the accessibility settings, would probably drive the increase or
intervention on visual design to do some tests.
test specifically on accessibility.
Right. Because it seems if you're running that high contrast theme, then quick lists should be more, you get rid of a few things, but actually make it high contrast.
There's also things to consider to do with testing colors, combinations of color blindness. Compiz has actually got a couple of filters that can help you emulate that to test that.
Interesting.
I remember where that was written.
Very interesting.
Cool. Yeah, Compiz seems to have very good accessibility.
No, that's not the game.
So with regards to the distinction between a small screen and a big screen, right? When do we determine which mode we're in?
So it's interesting. I was talking to Mario, which I don't know, yeah, but we went. So as an issue, we were talking about screensavers, and then he said that on one of the systems they actually check if you're running an Atom CPU as well to do the real test of whether what you should.
We have an existing laptop detect, and there's a stated set of tests that we follow, and we can update that, but it's in the spec.
So
And Atom is also used on some small desktop platforms as well.
Yes, we're looking at screen, certainly resolution, maybe also size, maybe also.
Because the typical size probably has some.
Maybe
so
also
what I'm thinking is, I often plug this into a monitor, and I turn this off and make the big monitor the primary.
multi-monitor.
We'd adjust.
We'd adjust.
Yeah, but these are settings on the fly, so we can adjust to these.
That was one of the interesting use cases I heard in an earlier session, was a small resolution plugged into a large resolution, and where did the things go?
So there are some weaknesses in the platforms, generally our multi-monitor handling, but we can certainly adjust we can retest essentially and reset the experience baseline for after an event like that, or just changing the resolution on it.
Well, you also have a choice of what's your primary monitor. So if you choose as your big screen as your primary monitor, we could adjust for that, move the panel over, and just switch the launcher, if that's what you want. And don't forget, you always have the choice of just keeping it locked.
Make it this all.
So if you want one unified experience the entire time, that's fine as well. We won't automatically change it.
Do you want to explicitly know what you were talking about before, or you and I were talking about, where if I move my big monitor to the left, orientation-wise?
Yeah, so one problem with Mata was it only picked up structs, obviously on the left-hand side. We can update place to make sure, or whatever, to make sure it understands that if you have a monitor on your right and your launcher is basically it's in the middle of the two monitors on the right-hand side. When you maximize a window on this monitor, it doesn't cover the launcher.
So speaking of a similar thing, we need to update Nautilus, not to drop any icons where the overlay launcher and or locked launcher would go. So we never have to move them. Yeah, there's that action there.
There's also a usability issue where if you have two monitors and there's a monitor on the left and your primary is in front of you, hitting that top left corner is no longer, your mouse won't bound into that.
You did make that choice yourself, though.
Yes.
We could do some stickiness things, some haptics, you know.
Yeah, you could try different approaches there.
Right.
On the multi-monitor action, however, are there already design elements for different things and how we should react to them?
No, I don't believe so.
So I can add action on that too.
What do you want specifically? It sort of fell off the design list.
So
and we felt that we were going to have a problem with multi-monitor no matter what shell. So
yeah. But so, are you confident that the way Compiz and Unity currently work is going to be sufficient to address the different pieces that are?
Pretty confident, and we'll try and get it in early enough for testing takes place.
It's definitely something for 11.10 that we can look to.
Are you going to be making use of the Compiz keyboard shortcut system for keyboard-related activities like the super the launcher shortcuts and stuff? I believe Compiz has got a pretty good keyboard shortcut system itself. Are you leveraging that for the shortcuts to launch different launches or whatever?
We have shortcuts defined.
We were thinking of using the system Compiz defines and having the default.
Well, I mean the system.
Compiz has a very comprehensive shortcut facility built right into it, and it makes a little sense for us to go around that when we just utilize it directly.
So
in terms of what's actually intercepting the events.
Yeah.
Why were we doing it on Mata? Were we doing it?
We'd have to grab it ourselves.
Separately somewhere else.
Yeah.
That caused problems.
The benefit of using the Compiz
it's Mata wants to
also,
So that's a Compiz decision. It's not.
it's also Compiz still waiting.
Yeah.
It means
that sounds
it means the user can change it if they want to.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
what aspect of multi-monitor is pushed to?
I don't know. Let's take that up separately.
Okay. Yeah, just because I mean, otherwise the salespeople when they go to presentations can't use it.
So
No, you'll have multi-monitor support. There's no left or right like that.
Pete feels that we don't have multi-monitor support today.
Yeah, we had a whole session. We actually.
What if you've got
We had a really
multiple?
good session on that actually.
So
So I'm not taking any decision here, which is changing what guidance you've got from Rick or anybody else.
What if you've got another monitor that's been driven by a video card that's not 3D capable?
Oh, you've got such a criminal mind.
So that means that you're not on the same screen. So, like in those cases, you can't even drag windows between.
Oh, okay. Okay, sure. You'd go into the Gnome session.
It's out of scope.
Okay, gotcha.
Where?
I wasn't sure just how far X went with that sort of stuff.
But
Don't even find it.
with regard to multi-monitor, I mean, it's pretty easy considering the Compiz setup to definitely well support where we're always on the leftmost monitor.
Right. I think for 11.10 we can really clean up, look at all the use cases, redesign the dialogues. I know the Gnome students can work on this. Maybe that's landed, and maybe we can get involved. Not in this cycle, but in the next one.
One thing to think of too, Compiz until very recently was crashing in multi-monitor. It would actually disable or something like that. It was, yeah, it would disable actually.
When was that?
It definitely was in the lucid cycle. I don't know about that.
No, this is lucid, and this is Compiz.
Like multi-monitor.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Could it just be
Oh,
a
it
bit
could be the video part.
it's hardware specific usually.
For crash cheat, usually it's Compiz crashing, that sounds very moving.
When Karmic had crashed in lucid, it just disabled it when as soon as
Do you still have that laptop? Is it up?
Yeah, so
So I
we
should try
would
it.
love to do testing.
I'm just saying something to consider.
So if it still happens, then we'll.
Yeah.
We'll teach you how to get a backtrace.
Great.
Yeah.
I can read a wiki page. I know how to do that.
So getting back to
are there
the
limits
window
to it?
managers are kind
Oh,
of
is it?
special.
It's a blessed fun time.
Awesome.
I have a quick question. So right now the application launcher in Unity is kind of icon heavy instead of text heavy. That's a big change from what we had before, if you know.
Over text heavy.
Yeah. They're moving in that same direction for Gnome Shell, it looks like, but are we gonna, we should probably do something to accommodate that. Are there any plans?
Accommodate.
Accommodate what?
So right now we end up with a lot of ellipses.
Yeah, so we'll break it out over 2 lines at least, and then we'll probably do some clever analysis of that row of text to see whether we need to break it down to 3 lines.
I noticed in one of the Gnome Shell mockups they were using these short names, so just transmission instead of transmission BitTorrent time.
Yeah.
Maybe something to consider, but the problem that of course you know.
And you can do some kind of analysis on it and see, well, is the short name useful here, or is the long name short enough that we can use that?
But we're definitely going to fix that problem. We don't want you to see that many of those.
I think there was a session already on the places where John kind of went through some of the changes or adjustments he wants to do. We need to cover that. And also, there is also a plan to try to allocate also working.
So, okay, so with places, honestly, I mean, John has some ideas, but we don't know exactly what's going to come out. They've got until about Alpha 1 to make up their minds. So,
and then
it's locked. Then we develop it. So what we're going to, what we know that's not going away, we'll start developing in places like global search and things like that. But the views may change slightly just to accommodate whatever design decisions that they make in the next few weeks. Alt-F2 will be implemented because it's a massive, well, we need it. All the geeks need it.
It's an important feature.
We're talking about the comment there from Kes.
Oh, no, I wasn't talking about that. So,
well, it would be the same version, so the feature should be here, whether we enable, whether I by default.
So, yes, you could just set the option on the netbook because it will be the same piece of code, and then you can have it auto hide.
It's a decent question of why it's different.
So it's just a different default.
Form factor being different.
We feel the experience is better without autopilot on the netbook.
So messing around with your
maybe go
track
Hey, about the auto hide, what's the behavior as far as the window is concerned? So you've got a full screen window, you've got your panel on the side. Is that going to overlay the window, or is the window going to okay, so the window's going to, part of the window is going to be hidden by the dock, right? The panel.
We found that setting struts live, bad idea.
Yeah, I figured. The other thing is, say an application like Oprah with its, it has a panel on that side as well. And one of the features is that you can just flick over to the edge of the screen and click, and that panel will fold out and fold in. So
we're not gonna. When you move your mouse to the edge of the screen,
that won't interfere with
the launcher won't pop out because of things like that.
Okay, cool.
You have to go to the top left of your screen.
That's why it's designed that way. You have to go to the panel.
Okay.
So that these things that utilize on offside, because there's a lot of things that do utilize that on edge.
Yeah, or you'll use keyboard shortcuts like.
Yeah, that's cool.
So on touch, there's a gesture to pull it out. So you like drag along.
Do we give any bit of visual indication?
Yes.
Yeah, you'll see.
It'll be one-to-one, so as you start doing it, it'll start coming
So I just mean in the general case. So it's when I log in, it's there. It will auto hide at some point, like giving a visual indication where it went, or is it usually?
Yeah, so that's going to be a question of animation. So we really have to like make it clear when this thing goes away that the user is aware of where it went.
Yeah.
And so that's an exit animation that has to be very clear, and I'm not sure the visuals are done on that or not.
That will also be probably something on the circle of friends as well, which is just to indicate that we went like a little problem in circle of friends to say it hid.
Yeah, so there's several rounds of user testing being done.
Right.
And that will, I'm almost certain, I can't say for sure, but I'm willing to bet that's something we'll be testing.
Yeah, I'll probably change slightly by then.
So basic design is working on implementation.
Do you guys plan right-to-left support for Unity?
So there's no design for it as such.
Maybe design, just flip everything, right?
Right, that's what I was saying, here.
No, it's not quite.
I'm just saying, I mean, you've already designed it, now you just make it right to left conservative. I feel like the ways to do that are pretty well defined, right?
How about
yes,
people might try and shift the top panel to the bottom? Is that going to be
No. So right to left we want to try and support. We'll just need testing to see where we're doing it wrong.
And one coda to that is we had a session on Chinese users. I don't know if you guys were at that. And one thing that came out of it was that they expected some things to be on the right, like window titles. I wonder if Unity could be smart about that.
That's why I said right.
Well, it's easy for when you know it should be like Hebrew, but there are some cases where.
Yeah, so there's going to, again, that's going to be an iterative thing. We're not going to get it right the first time, and then we'll just have to go back and each time try to do a little better. But we're not going to be able to figure out all.
But I mean, Windows type stuff is an option that they could have an ambient thing that just did that.
But I'm saying, so just so we're clear, I mean, for example, in RTL, you guys would expect the launcher to be on the right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And system indicators in the left and stuff.
Yes. And in right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. There's also input method support. We don't have any.
Well, I'm just back from the keyboard session. No, still a couple of issues to fix.
Keyboard.
Sure.
You mean in the dash? Yeah.
Yes. Well,
it's not that terrible. I've been running it one time. Yeah, it's terrible.
So, but we need to have that because you can't get Chinese characters into Unity right now.
Need to support a specific interface outside of the
we'll probably hook into GTK's input method support instead of doing it again ourselves.
Okay.
I have to have a look. I don't know right now.
There's GTK,
but it's solved, so it's solvable. Yeah. That makes sense.
It's not insane. It automatically does the pop-up things for you, so.
Yeah.
That's it. They should don't render on top of those.
So is the desktop form going to have a global menu bar?
What?
Is the desktop form going to have a global menu bar?
Yes.
So wasn't one of the criticisms of the global menu bar that on a huge monitor, your mouse has to travel quite a long distance?
I think the design team's thoughts on that is that you could fix that through acceleration as well of your mouse pointer as you're moving up across your screen. Because you have a hit area, so you can just throw it up there, and if the acceleration's right, you can pretty quick to get up there, back down.
Okay, one thing that will break is focus follows pointer.
What?
Yeah,
so focus follows pointer.
Are there any non-needs that use that?
Unity's design works.
You'll have interesting results if you use that.
Yeah.
Don't file it.
Don't file it. We'll ignore it.
It'll just remark won't fix. Good question. What about the global menu? Desktop version of Unity?
Yes, it will, guess.
Yes.
Global menu will be in the top panel.
Yeah.
I remember, I don't remember if what the end thought was. There was some discussion last cycle about having the global menus, the menu become part of the window again when the window is normal web size instead of maximize? Was there a reason for not doing that?
For networks, it doesn't make sense to do. For desktop, I think the design team still feel that having a global menu bar makes the most sense. I haven't heard any different, honestly. They may be a good I mean, you can grab them, they're walking around, just ask them.
Yeah.
Make the order right.
That's what you do
With,
with design.
yeah, with love patches in this case, because for the moment,
Back to
see the
my
panel
question.
and then maybe
It's meant to be in the
yeah,
Or
this is where it belongs for us. Yeah.
I don't really know what else. Last question. To me, it all makes sense.
I don't know.
I have another question. If the side panel autopilots and I leave and the window's full screen and somebody else comes in, without moving the mouse, or rather by moving the mouse? Because the point is that that top left corner is a very small hit area to get the thing to pop back out, right?
Right.
Is there going to be some sort of indication that there's something hidden under there?
It's not hidden under it. It's
Hidden on the edge?
So the idea would be that, yes, somehow there would be a difference in the what do we call it, the top left button, circle of friends.
Like the way KDE handles it right now is that when you move your mouse around and there's a hidden panel. If you move your mouse close enough to the edge where the panel is hidden, there's a small glow that appears there. So
Yeah, it's kind of a similar concept, but again, I don't know exactly where the visuals are headed with that. We don't want to have a situation where we're starting to do mouse cursor position polling all the time. Because that is,
Not very ideal.
it's bad for your battery life.
Is circle friendly size it would be? It wouldn't be bigger to make it more hittable.
Well, it's at the edge of the screen. That's what makes it quite.
You don't even have to run it, you just have to hover it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of like to bring up dash and a touch. Is that what we're talking?
No. So to bring up dash and a touch, it's a four-finger grip. Okay.
There's a gesture for bringing up the dash.
There's a gesture for that.
Dash, not dash.
Yeah, we can tackle it.
There's a gesture for that.
Now we need a gesture store.
The gesture store.
You have to pay a buck for the four fingers.
What?
Yep. Gesture store, you have to pay a buck for the four finger gesture.
I only want the one.
I got 2.
Anything else?
Window management will be basically what you've been used to for the past few years on Ubuntu. So if you want the cube, you can have it. Jason's looking at me because he hasn't figured out how to make it work, but yes.
By the way, are you going to fix the borders currently in Unity that when you have a window full screen, you can double click on next to the menu to make it again windowed? Because right now it doesn't work and it's really
that annoyed me today. I'll fix that.
What?
Okay.
The panel, double click on the panel on maximize window should unmaximize it.
Yes, definitely. And double click it, and the drag is the hiding.
Right.
Yeah.
So you can actually drag it off as well.
Yeah. So those need to act like the title bars you guys are used to interact with.
Yeah.
This is a toggle. You need a toggle field.
Yeah, well, it needs to feel like you're pulling the title bar.
Is it just me or are our fonts colors a little off in the panel? I think they
It
are.
shouldn't be on the release version,
Really?
unless they change them again.
No, I can try to really release that. I will see.
But it won't be a problem. It's hard as well. Because, yeah,
Let's see. Mostly the answer is provide us with adjustments.
Okay, well, when the Windows maximize,
I'm sorry.
when the Windows maximize, and you want to close the window, you move the mouse to the top left, which is very close to the hit area, to pull the dock out, or to pull the launcher out. Is
there's
that
no really
concern? Or?
No.
Because it's hard to stop a mouse at the specific.
There's no downside to accidentally falling over. Like, it doesn't cause anything. What?
The
nothing bad will happen. It's just kind of, you'll, worst comes to worst, what will happen is it'll come out for a moment, then you go back and close it and it'll disappear.
It won't cause any, like, your window won't suddenly resize or anything like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so forms look good, but the application's name is cut off in the middle.
Yeah.
So for example, like if transmission. Oh, I see.
That's all it shouldn't be called.
Right, but it doesn't really look good.
It's your application renaming panel.
That we'll see. I don't know what design come up. Obviously, we have more space on the desktop, but we didn't want it to, your menus keep moving.
Yes, I know. I know why. I know why it has
it's like
become,
a
but
balance.
it doesn't really look good.
Agreed.
Maybe do a little fade in, so it's closer it is to the menu, the less readable the font is.
Yeah.
So it doesn't. So it isn't just cut off in the middle.
Yeah, it was a design thing we discussed.
Is that abstracted enough such that if it's cut off from the screen, should we be able to pull the full name out of the back end when we're doing the accessibility framework?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I have a really nice bug. When I open a menu, it doesn't highlight for like 5 seconds.
So guest, again on IRC, asking about opening a second copy of an app. This will work a lot like how it works right now in Unity, which is to say that, say you open 2 terminals, they're both managed under the same icon on the launcher. And then when you click on the launcher, it'll raise one of them. If you click again, it will do a window picker type.
But you will able to see how many windows you have open.
Yes, so
which
there
is a
will be
big change from before.
There will be some kind of indication as to whether or not you have multiple windows or exactly how many there are. We're not sure.
So does it bring up like an extra sort of a little box above near the icon that you clicked again on the icon, like on the launcher for the window picker?
I really hope not.
So I'm just trying to get an idea of how that works and
so
how you might have to deal with it accessibility wise, that's all.
You can report it when you focus the launcher that you have this Windows open.
Yeah, but you were saying if you click it once it brings up one, if you click it again it brings up a window picker thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at that point there would be keyboard navigation.
Yeah, but I'm just wondering how that works visually.
Visually, it's like you know the scale plugin in Compiz.
No.
Where it zooms out all your windows and lays them out on kind of.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll work out. Yeah.
Yeah. So and then after that, you'll have nice kind of data previews.
Yeah.
And I think it should be okay.
Yeah.
Scale's probably reporting something as well.
Sure. Has the question about global menu been answered?
Yeah.
Yeah, we answered that.
This guy knew it.
The answer is yes.
Okay, are we gonna still have the Nautilus desktop thing going on, or
Yes.
is that?
Yes. You're not losing Nautilus, it would be insane of us to steal that from you right now.
Oh, I would like it gone.
And there'll probably be a
But
Nautilus. There'll probably be a Nautilus icon on your launcher by default as well.
That's different.
What do you mean exactly by Nautilus desktop?
With the files on your desktop.
Oh, right, yeah.
And some names, well, on the desktop, which means potential performance issues addressed.
It's multi-threaded.
Okay, so if you're gonna have a transition from netbook to desktop, does that mean that we're gonna have Nautilus on the netbook as well, or it goes in?
Probably for this cycle because we can't go the full way that we want to with the file space. So yes. However, there's performance issues with that, so it's something we need to figure out. We don't want Nautilus to paint the third background in your desktop session and other fun things.
There's a big kind of competition between all sorts of different services for painting, who's painting the background.
It seems to be like the most important thing for the desktop.
Yeah, so like every service in the dog provides a background painter. So that needs to be cleaned out.
It would be nice if it was just an RGBA window. So it's just on whatever the background is. Compiz is background.
That's just downright clever.
I have my moments.
I support this. Let's do it.
questions?
Someone's actually writing this down.
Or, but people are actually taking notes?
Well, a couple of, actually, a lot of design action items.
That's not us.
So there's a summary of the changes that we can expect to adapt to the desktop form factor.
So, we need to talk to hamster first, then get exactly.
Right, so I think that's really the configuration problem, and
Yeah, on the global base
And so,
Yeah,
I mean, it will still be everybody all the way to control a big monitor all the way to control.
When you maximize the application, peak. When you maximize the range.
Only when you maximize.
But the global menu would always be up there. But obviously you'll have not, same as the way it works on the network. If you've got a floating window, you've got still the declaration.
So, does anybody here, accessibility people, kind of, comments, concerns?
I will, once I've had a better look at things and tried to integrate things.
I know you did, but I didn't like the outcomes. I just wanted to get one last comment kind of thing. All right, thank you.
No, do you have to?
I have to look it up now.
Okay, well, I guess that's a wrap.
I guess saying thank you.
dangerous around here. Thanks for participating in this session.
So we went through the